SoundCloud is dead for composers, and here is why. Hello there, my name is eluukkanen aka Eluukkanen, and I'm a composer from Finland. I make music as a freelancer for projects like games, animations, films, but I used to put my music to this service called SoundCloud back in the day. You might ask what SoundCloud is. Well, it's basically a music sharing platform where anyone, even the big artists or small ones, can put their music into and get people potentially to listen to music. And I tell you, it was big. It was big back in the day, and I would argue it was even better than YouTube for composers. Yes, as a composer, you need to think about what platform you use to share your music in. Of course, depending on your music style, but also, are you going to be reaching enough people in those platforms? If you just choose and pick and use one platform for 2 weeks, that's not going to bring you any luck. You need to dedicate your time for these places to build enough following. And I tell you, if someone would have came to me and asked where to start sharing music, where should you start putting your songs, I would have said SoundCloud, because SoundCloud was so good. It was a place where you could easily just put your music in, to put some pictures, and it was easy. It was much easier the production than just with YouTube videos overall, so that's a plus. One of the pluses were also that you could actually make connections with other artists you enjoyed, not just stay within your own bubble, like in YouTube so many people do. Yes, bubbles, yeah, because if you just stay within your own bubbles, as we discussed in the last video, you are not going to reach as much potential and opportunities as you could. SoundCloud was this place for opportunities, and originally I discovered the whole place through a friend of mine called Joona Lätti, who I have to actually thank, because without him I would have not perhaps ended up in here making this video right now. It was a big thing, and I haven't met him for quite a long time, but he was this young composer as well, perhaps making his music career at the moment. It was this place where music creators just would come, and people would come to them, and once you shared enough your music there and gathered attraction, of course from other artists, but from real listeners, you could build your following and get into projects. This was important. This was for me a big important moment, because I could use SoundCloud as this kind of CV, resume, as you would say, to market myself to people all around. But it's changed. It's not like that anymore. It has changed for the worse, because SoundCloud did some changes back in 2016. Yes, SoundCloud is originally seen as this place for rappers to put their music into, but it had a thriving music creator community, but not anymore. Because of the updates the whole SoundCloud made, there were no longer social groups where people could just post their stuff and it was expected, and people could just listen and leave the song if they didn't like it, continue to the next one, and that was kind of a like democratic way for composers to get their music shared, because nowadays SoundCloud is much more about what YouTube is all about and what every single other place in goddamn internetscape is all about. It's this kind of sharing other works and having connections, sharing your music, not that a platform could potentially gather people who are interested about your stuff, but instead having these algorithms bring you the work you most likely don't want to listen, because the algorithms don't work in SoundCloud, in my opinion. And also, in order, if you want to really like get your music like for many demographics, you could potentially approach these people who could repost your music to people, but you can't really build a following. You can't really build a following nowadays for many reasons. I'm going to go to them. I'm going to explain these reasons. I'm going to explain why a composer like you should not be, if you are right now, should not be focusing on SoundCloud any longer. Because numbers don't matter. The followers you gained don't matter. They are not notified. They are notified even worse than in YouTube. We all comply, and I can myself even comply that sometimes I say, oh, YouTube doesn't notify my subscribers that much from my music, but it's actually worse in SoundCloud. I have like 1,000 followers over there. None of them get my music at all. Because the whole, like the feed, there's this kind of a like music feed where you get notifications if somebody posts your music. But because of the reposts, and there's no skill to actually, or any kind of feature you could remove these other reposts from other people, basically other accounts sharing accounts you don't follow and their music. You can't really take them out of the whole context, and that's why your followers are not reaching your stuff. I'm not even reaching the people I'm trying to follow myself. 700 really creative artists I've been able to communicate and get into things and collaborate and much more. I even have connections to them outside of SoundCloud, but I'm not able to see their newest works. I'm not. It's impossible. The whole platform is built into relying on other people and your friends reposting these big guys who have gained I think, a manner of kind of authority in this place, because SoundCloud is never anymore thinking about, alright, these communities want to come here, share their music. No, it's not that anymore. And I think, I would argue, it's not that in many other platforms. I feel SoundCloud was at one time very unique case, because of course you could do this following game like in YouTube. I see many artists doing, and it's proving useful for them. Basically what you do as you market yourself, you go to these other YouTube channels which are similar to you and similar to your size. You go there, you put your comments in there, you like them, but these channels might not actually like your stuff. They just expect you to come to your channel and do the same. And I see this thing going all of the time, and that was also a thing and is still a thing that happens in SoundCloud. But I feel something was lost that day when 2016 they made these changes. I think thriving community of people who had no outside help on trying to reach their audience, I think that was kind of destroyed. And now this exodus happened. I see many artists now going to YouTube, and that's what I did myself. I went to YouTube after 2016. Yet prior to that I was not in YouTube, imagine that. I started my channel like 2014, but I did not use it much. If you go back to some uploads, I did not use it much, I did not use it actively, but now I see that it's a place where a new kind of listener kind of folk gathers, and it's good to find your niche, and once you find your niche, you can actually get people to listen. And like in SoundCloud, I think the biggest criticisms I have, of course, it was a viable business for them, but even originally you need to pay every month a certain amount of money if you reach enough uploads. Like there was the limit, and you needed to pay in order to upload your music to the platform and get shared and that sort of thing. And gladly YouTube doesn't have that, and that's why the YouTube is a place to go for many artists like you. And I would recommend you thinking about going to YouTube in a sense that it's the engagement is really good. You can actually get people much more, unlike like passive places like in SoundCloud, people just listen, but you can actually have here me to just say things, and you to do certain stuff like let's join this project and that kind of stuff, or like the video and that kind of stuff. The YouTube is much more engaging in that sense, and I do like it. Of course, it doesn't require a lot more attention, a lot more time than I used for SoundCloud. And time is very limited resource if you are a composer. You need to time the music creation, you need to time which platforms you choose and where to distribute your music, and then you need to also think marketing and trying to represent yourself. And also, fourth thing, to get into other projects as a freelancer if you do that sort of thing, and there are also many others. But yeah, time is a really valuable resource, and I think building that in YouTube takes a lot of time. It's sad that SoundCloud turned out to be so kind of dead. It's not that what it was anymore, and I have seen so many creators who I know and I still follow quite a lot, and I would have never ever seen if I would have not gone to SoundCloud. I see these creators going to YouTube, and I feel there is not a platform for music creators and music people to share their music and get discovered like that was. Something has been lost, and it's sad because it had potential, and I was able to get into projects. People approached me in that place, like YouTube. Of course, people approach me because I just market my hell out of my content outside and that sort of thing. But just people discovered me with no work from me at all in SoundCloud. So that was a big thing. I think something has been lost for composers and art creators overall. I feel we kind of not connected in a sense that artists should come together, artists should give each other feedback, artists should make something unique with a community, and that's what I'm building in a Discord group right now. In Discord, yes, it's an artist place. In future it's going to be a kind of a platform where many creators, whether they are music people or art people, animation people, join together to make something unique. And I feel if you're watching this video and if you're a composer or from any other art field, I recommend to check it out. Of course, it's still small, but the intention is to make that a place where you could actually, get heard. You could present your music and also get others to make something great with you in projects. And perhaps in future we're going to be doing paid ones as well. That's my intention. That's what I'm building. That's what I'm inviting you to. There should be a link down in the description to join the Discord group. Go and check that out. And also we're going to be in future discussing what sort of platforms should you choose, because as I said, it's a lot of time involved into checking out these places. And if you choose one, like if you choose a composing program, you don't want to change that every week. You want to actually get into that whole thing, learn its secrets and master it. And that's also about the music platforms as well. You can't just be changing them all the time. Perhaps you can, but it's not going to be anything beneficial for you. So in this channel we're going to actually go and exploring these other platforms and helping you out to choose where you should go, where you should start, and how to get into projects. Because that's what I do. I'm a composer from Finland, and I feel there are not too many of these people like me who tell about and get you into this mindset that hey, you can actually make music as your job. You can. I live with my music, and you can do it as well. You need to have a platform which you take for yourself, and SoundCloud, I would have recommended it, and without SoundCloud I would have never had this kind of a jumping ground to go forward. It was very beneficial for me. It was. I have to tell you, when you're in your beginning of your career, you need this place where you just can expect people to comment on your stuff, get feedback and excitement, and perhaps feel that hey, I can make this as my job. SoundCloud is not anymore that, but yeah, we're going to explore in future what should be the place for composers. But that's all today. Here at Eluukkanen we do weekly videos on discussion topics and others as well. And I also upload my own music and music creation live here at the channel. So you should check that out. Like this whole thing and share this discussion to other people who might be thinking using the SoundCloud. So hey, do that. But I say, wherever you are, whoever you are, I wish you a good day. See you later.